Hello, and welcome to those of you who are watching today's video podcast series, Real Living in Seattle. My name is Bill. I am one of your co-hosts. Let me bring in my friend Richard as well into this conversation. Hello, Richard.
Oh, hey, Bill. How are you doing today?
I am good. I am going to take a guess here. You're probably doing better than I am because given where you're located, it's very likely your weather may be better than mine.
You're pretty close. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good sunny day here a little bit today. Partly cloudy, but definitely nice to be outside if you can be outside today.
Absolutely. Not to mention, I know this for a fact, Richard, for the people watching us and or listening into today's episode, they may not know this immediately. You certainly have a better backdrop than I do with Mount Rainier behind you, so to speak.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's one of the great national parks, and actually you can see it from our rooftop here at 𝙍𝙚. So, like I said, very fortunate to be able to get a beautiful view of Mount Rainier from here.
Love that, Richard. I loved how you just teased all of us. You hinted at from our rooftop. So, ladies, gentlemen, social media friends who may be local to either me, far away from Richard, or reverse, local to Richard and far away from me. Welcome to this first episode of Real Living in Seattle, where Richard and I will be sharing with you a simple conversation between the two of us about some of the things that may matter to you about living in downtown Seattle. So, Richard, let's lean right into this and talk about what are the benefits of living in downtown Seattle?
That's a great question, Bill. And maybe I'll just start with a couple things. Living here in downtown Seattle, it's great because you have proximity to the waterfront, right? Seattle's kind of a coastal city. You got the West Coast here, so it's very beautiful. It's all Seattle's got this revitalization of its waterfront, $2 billion plan, and that's kind of been it's been coming to fruition. So you see all the construction going on with the public piers kind of opening up, and the roads being redone and the pedestrian walkway. So that's definitely a big plus. You have this beautiful waterfront that's under construction. It's to be done in the next couple of years. Another great thing about living downtown Seattle here, I would say, is also the proximity to just being in the Pacific Northwest, right? Mm-hmm. We're in downtown, but you can still drive not too far, 30, 45 minutes. You can do your first trail, your first hike. We have Lake Washington just hugging us right on the east side of downtown Seattle, right? So, you get to experience the lake and all the spring, summer boating, wakeboarding, kayaking activities just within minutes from yourself.
Wow.
So that, with all the nature, the mountains, the hikes, even in the winter, the skiing and snowboarding, I think, living in downtown Seattle gives you a great proximity to all of these seasonal activities that we have for us here.
And it sounds like all that downtown Seattle has to offer kind of deliver on multiple seasons.
Yeah.
Certainly the summer, which we're enjoying right now. Right. The fall, you don't have a winter per se, right?
I mean, you're absolutely right. What winter is, what do we say, a couple inches of snow, right, at most. So, yeah, it's even then, like I said, you can at least get out to the mountains if that's something that, that's truly part of your interest in life.
Perfect. Now, for all of you watching today's episode, sharing your time with Richard and myself, notice how you really didn't hear yet what is it that Richard does. So, Richard, there we go. I'm setting the table for you. Tell us about what you do professionally and kind of start to lean in as to what you teased us with, which was from our rooftop. Tell us more.
Thank you. Okay, so Bill, so I work for a real estate developer here in Seattle. I'm a development manager here at the 𝙎𝙬 Development, and we focus on multifamily residential development, but we do other projects, office, and whatnot. So my responsibilities here is still just looking after what I mentioned earlier is one of our condominium projects. So we have a condominium project that we completed here in 2021. It's 200 units, 17 stories, right in downtown Seattle. Like you said, we have a fantastic rooftop amenity as well as other amenities that really give people the opportunity to kind of take advantage of the view to the west with the Olympic Mountains and being able to see Mount Rainier. So my responsibilities here is managing this project as well as the sales and marketing aspects that that connected me with you.
Can you share high level what are some of the personas of the unit owners, the residents within this specific condo development called 𝙎𝙚?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we have a range of A to Z, so to speak, right? We have young professionals that work in tech and not necessarily in tech, all the way through to some retirees who just love the neighborhood and love that we built this project here. And it's one of the, it's, I guess, one of the only new things that you can kind of attain in this part of downtown Seattle.
Perfect. So for maybe some of my friends, Richard, who want to escape the upper Midwest, or some of my friends who live on the East Coast, they want to escape that weather as well. What you're kind of saying is, hey, come out to downtown Seattle, enjoy a little bit of the snow when you really want it, but we have all of this other stuff to offer. And by the way, you can live in this modern new construction condo building without any maintenance that they have to deal with, right?
Absolutely, you hit on it, right? That's the kind of one of the biggest differences with living in the urban core and in a high rise is the maintenance aspect, where it's all taken care of for you, and you don't have to be mowing your lawn or cleaning your gutters, and that's the trade-offs of being able to live in the downtown area.
Yeah. Where do you see a lot of your current owners and residents perhaps moving from into Seattle? Are they moving from the suburbs of Seattle into downtown or much farther away? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's a good mix, actually. Like you said, there's the local people who've been renting and finally been ready to purchase, that they've already lived downtown, they're familiar with the area, familiar with the urban lifestyle. As you said, there's people coming in from the suburbs because now suddenly they have to be back in the office, things that they didn't expect over the last few years. And then lastly, like you said, there's a good amount of people that are relocating from all parts of the United States, right? Texas, Tennessee, New York, California, especially, right? It's a stark, comparison, or I guess, comparable from California, still being on the West Coast and offering kind of all these amenities, living amenities, I would say, in our surrounding.
Yeah, I'm with you. And let's state the obvious, Richard. From the past 3 years, fast forward to now, this hybrid or work from home concept is very likely to stick and stay with us. So the beautiful part of that concept is for those technology professionals, for those professionals that are looking at the next chapter of retiring, this is obviously something they may want to consider as, hey, this is my new landscape that I want to enjoy.
Yeah. And I think to me, to add to that, like, 𝙎𝙚 specifically being a new construction building and only one of the few new construction buildings here in downtown Seattle, is still at a very affordable price point, and actually I've seen some of these people that are relocating and or moving in from the suburbs see 𝙎𝙚 as a second home as well.
Wow.
perhaps, oh, well, we have to be back in the office during the week, and we'll just live downtown during the week in a condo unit that is, few left here under $400,000, and still be able to keep their home out in the suburbs. Or vice versa, flip it around, now rent out the home that they don't want to sell, that has that really low interest rate, and kind of be able to get back downtown at a reasonable price.
Yeah, and there's a phrase or a couple of words for what you just described. Who doesn't want a pied à terre?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So putting you on the spot, you touched upon it already, Richard, but putting you on the spot, what are the benefits of owning a new construction condo? Let me lead you off with, in my opinion, what is the first clear benefit? I get to own something that no one has lived in.
That is a very good, clear benefit. That didn't even come to the top of my head, so I'm glad you started with that.
What more can you add to that one?
Yeah, in addition to that of purchasing new condominiums, it's the warranty. I think the warranty is a big deal, right? Because when you purchase new, you still have your 1-year developer's warranty, where we come in and no matter what happens in that first year, we're still responsible. We're taking care of it for you. I think that's big, especially with people who are purchasing for the first time, right? Because at these price levels and in this market, we have a lot of first-time homeowners, buying the first homes, and having that safety, net, that ability to not have to worry about buying something that's resale, that's probably 20 years old, 30 years old, that may come with some problems or may need some renovating, or so it's definitely warranties big, and being able to just move into something that's new, shiny, headache-free. And I think I'd add to that amenities, right? Any multifamily buildings in the last cycle here are built highly amenitized, right? So as we mentioned earlier, rooftop amenity with barbecues and fire pits. You have the club room on 17, games, media room, kitchen, dining. You have gym, you have a conference room. So that's really some of the benefits of purchasing new condominiums. I guess almost anywhere, right? When you look at that, because not only that technology and workmanship and materials, right, that all kind of fits into what you get when you're purchasing new construction.
Yeah. What would you say, Richard, would be the average current rent prices for, let's say, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in downtown Seattle?
You're really putting me on the spot. I haven't been up to date on my rental prices now, but I think we're looking in the 2000s for sure. If I remember my last check, I think still you're looking at 2,200 and up for those 1-bedroom, rental prices.
Yeah.
Perhaps more, just depending on which part of downtown you're in. There's going to be some places that will run you $2,800 to $3,000 a month, right? If you want to be in a brand new apartment, so to speak, right?
True.
Which is actually quite comparable to purchasing a 1-bedroom here, when you say that, right? Because if you're renting a brand new 1-bedroom, you could be looking at $3,000, and with the prices at Coda, that's very comparable to owning the condo.
True. You're spot on, by the way. Even though I put you, Richard, on the spot, because I don't know what maybe the current rental prices are going for in downtown Seattle. However, I certainly draw upon what I know locally here in the downtown Chicago area. You're spot on. And to back that up, I did use ChatGPT AI to ask the question, and it spit back, it's at least $2,000 and up, depending on blah blah blah. So,
thank you. Yeah, so I guess I could ChatGPT doing its thing. That's right.
So for those of you who are listening and watching to this conversation Richard and I are sharing, if you happen to be looking for your next home, and if you happen to be scratching your head with the question, heck, why don't I just buy something if I'm renting at the clip of $2,000 or more? And what Richard just mentioned is spot on. The benefits of owning your first home, if that's the case, or maybe a second home, a pied-à-terre, is dollar for dollar in the long run. You're going to own it rather than you're throwing rental money and paying your landlord's mortgage or helping your landlord increase or build their equity. Let me now ask this question. Why CODA? That's a very important question. And I know, I have a feeling you can absolutely answer that for us.
I think, for here at CODA, it's really upside in value, right? So new construction will cost you the same everywhere else.
Yeah.
But to be able to get something, like I said, entry price point is still under $400,000. So if you look at anywhere in the city right now, that's complete brand new construction, you won't find anything else. This is the only building that's available. So that upside potential that you still have in the price point, especially since we actually did a price cut this year, just due to rising interest rates, right? So being able to buy today, even though with a higher interest rate, the prices have been depressed. Wow. And so that would be a big reason, why people should consider CODA and or new construction, because it's going to have more lift in it and more legs within it over the next few years.
That makes sense. And let's also talk about the intangibles, right? It's the lifestyle, the rooftop deck, the facility that you provide in the building for those dog parents where they can take care of their dog because you've got, the facilities within the building so that they don't always have to run out to do their business, clean them up, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that we had the dog run on the ground floor and the dog wash station, right? So, I think the story is there's more dogs than kids in downtown Seattle, and that's why you'll see these great dog amenities in all these buildings.
Absolutely. So let's now wrap up with a game I'm going to engage you in, Richard. It's the game of true or false. So you have 50% chance of winning. How's that?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So true or false? Amazon is one of the largest employers in downtown Seattle.
Absolutely true.
Right on. Bing, 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 bing. According to ChatGPT, it also said Amazon is one of the largest employers. The next one, true or false? I'm going to try to stump you now. Providence Health and Services medical facility. True or false?
If it's one of the largest,
one of the largest employers.
I would say true.
Yeah. Yay! Right on. And then lastly, this one is a no-brainer for all of us who enjoy Starbucks. Starbucks, obviously largest employer, right?
Absolutely. And to add to all those questions you just had, it's that is just what this market and this city is, right? It's got a strong fundamental in tech, right, and in medical. And that's what's really going to sustain this growing city, especially with the new transportation plan. And that's why you have so many people coming here. You got these big corporations. They're pulling not just for tech jobs, right? Because they have all these different facets of their business that they need to support these tech jobs.
Right.
And so you just have a constant growth here in Seattle.
Yeah. Love how you shared that big picture with me and for all of you who may be considering your lifestyle in downtown Seattle and your decision to really take a look at this CODA condo development. And as Richard and I wrap up, why are we talking about this today? It is because at the end of the day, for when you are looking to purchase your pied-à-terre, your first condo unit, Richard and I are partnering with each other to give you enough incentives to make your real living in downtown Seattle a reality. How are we doing this? Leading off from my organization, we are providing a lender credit for those of you who need to finance your condo unit purchase with Richard at 𝙍𝙬𝙖, where we're providing a lender credit all the way up to $7,000. Now, don't get me wrong, this is highly dependent on the condo unit purchase price that you will be entering into a purchase contract with Richard and his team. So Richard, anything more you'd like to add to my incentive that I'm throwing out there?
Yeah, no, that's a great incentive, and really happy to be able to partner with you guys on that. And I want to add that that's on top of the current summer incentives. So, in addition to what Bill's here is offering, you're going to see some of our summer specials here at 𝙍𝙬𝙖 also offering up to $20,000 credits on some of these units. So, give us a shout, come and see which one, ask us which one of these units have that. But for a few of them, there is a water view unit that is going to get that $20,000 credit, right? As well as some of these one bedrooms that I mentioned, still under $400,000. So those are big credits to add on top of these price points.
Perfect. And so for those of you who are wanting to take advantage of these incentives, especially if you need to benefit from a financing incentive, make note of the special code that I have dropped into our virtual broadcast studio. And for those of you who need to start a conversation with Richard and or myself, it's really easy. The first step is really starting the conversation. And to do that with either Richard and or myself, all you need to do is scan the QR codes that you see here in our screen, and we both would be ready, willing, and able to move that conversation forward with you. So Richard, as we wrap up today's first episode of Real Living in Seattle, thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for telling us so much more about 𝙍𝙬𝙖𝙡 condominiums and why 𝙍𝙬 development is on the verge of innovative new construction.
Thank you very much for having me, Bill, and look forward to chatting next time and maybe share even more details about our location and specific amenities that people can draw from.
Perfect. So for those of you who've enjoyed today's first episode, stay tuned for the next one that will drop in the next several weeks. You will have ample opportunity to engage us, listen to us, watch us in the next conversation that we'll have together. And if you have any questions, once again, scan the QR codes. We will gladly start a conversation with you. Richard, thanks for sharing your time once again. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Thank you, and you too. Take care now.
Bye-bye.